Wrath of the Gods is the first release from a new game company called Luminaria. It's a CD-ROM adventure game based on Greek mythology. Running under Windows 3.1, Wrath of the Gods features photorealistic 256 color graphics that are so beautiful that I often found myself thinking that I was playing a high-color game. This is a good start from a promising new company, but as with most first releases, there is a good deal of room for improvement. The background story is the stuff of Greek fables. A son, you of course, is born to the daughter of a Greek king, although the princess refuses to tell the king who fathered the child. When the king consults the Delphi oracle, the sage says that in the king's lifetime the child will rule in his place. Fearing for his crown, the king forces his daughter to abandon the child in the woods. The infant is found and raised by a kindly centaur. When the child reaches maturity, the centaur sets him off down the path of heroes to find his parents and claim his birthright. And so your journey begins. The journey that follows is sort of a greatest hits of Greek mythology. You'll have to recreate the heroic deeds of Jason, Hercules, Perseus, and a bunch of other ancient toga-wearing dudes. One of the many tasks you must complete is the slaying of the Hydra. Although this many-headed bag of ugliness is no match for a good sword, there's a bit of a problem. When you cut off one head, two new ones sprout. What would a hero do? What would an intellectual do? What would Plato do? Oops, sorry, wrong time period. The kindly centaur raised you in the ways of man and beast. Considering this, it shouldn't surprise you that before long you learn to talk to animals. While staying faithful to mythology, Luminaria have wisely decided to write this game with tongue planted firmly in cheek. When you bring this snake to your ear to listen to its sage advice, it offers some true wisdom. Put me down! By now you may be thinking to yourself, hey, I can't play this game. I learned Greek mythology a long time ago, and besides, I was asleep that semester. Don't worry, Luminaria is a smart enough bunch to realize that not everyone out there knows Hercules from Hiawatha. Wrath of the Gods comes with a context-sensitive information screen. A click of the appropriate icon will pop up a summary of the mythological origins of your current situation. Like Bill Cosby used to say, if you're not careful, you might learn something before it's done. Don't be shy. Dive in, this little cutie says. My immediate response was, where have you been all my life? Alas, it was not to be, as this is a family-oriented adventure game, and not Debbie Does Grease. She's a lonely water nymph looking for a playmate to keep her company. Although you can't stay forever like she wants you to, if you keep her entertained for a little while, she might give you a gift. Now's the time where all you Ultima freaks can say, really? Why didn't I think of that? Hey, look everybody, it's Tracy Ullman! Well, almost, but not quite. There are no name actors in Wrath of the Gods, but at least the acting is better than many multimedia ham feasts out there. This haggly old lady will pop up a few times in the game, always with something to sell you. As you'll soon come into an unspecified amount of gems, it's a good idea to pick up everything you can. The size of your inventory is limitless, but don't try to tell me that everything is going to fit into that little fanny pack on that loose-fitting toga. Damn, those ancient Greeks were talented. Wrath of the Gods takes place in a time when the gods still took a direct interest in the affairs of mortals. What this translates to as you play the game is that death is not final, and it's not even a bad thing. Zeus may chew you out for being a mortal trespassing in Mount Olympus, but he'll just send you back to Greece to try again. You may have to do a little exploring in Hades to get across the river Styx, but that's okay too. After all, the dead have knowledge beyond the reach of the living. Until you ask them, that is. Apart from the previously mentioned info screen, you can also get direct clues by consulting the Oracle, sort of an online hint book. This context-sensitive screen will give you a general hint at first, but if you're thick-headed and persistent, you'll end up with a complete solution. Each hint deducts 5 points from your score, but who cares? This is an adventure game, not asteroids. Robert Smith from The Cure washed off his makeup and got into a multimedia project. Not really, but close. Torch Boy here is just another celebrity look-alike, and man, is he a piece of work. This silly little Greek boy will lead you to the Hydra for a price, and then stand back and watch you try to defeat it without offering his assistance. Only when you fail and talk to him again will he say, "Oh, would you like a little help? Pal, if we were in Rome, I'd throw you to the lions." The only real fault I find with Wrath of the Gods is that it's a very basic adventure game, and feels quite dated from its gameplay despite the stunning visuals. It relies heavily on the 5 pillars of adventuring: walk, talk, look, get, and use. Unfortunately, that's about all there is to the game. It's still a fun game to play, but it's certainly nothing new in its mechanics. However, one thing Luminaria does much better than most of its peers is to tell you when you can't use an object in your present location, rather than having you click all over the screen and waste your time. Methinks there's a lesson to be learned here. All in all, I was pleasantly surprised by Wrath of the Gods. It's a smart piece of work with a lot going for it. A good first impression from a company I expect great things from in the future. Luminaria, keep the wonderful graphics and the user-friendly design. Bring your gameplay into the 90s. People are looking for a solid, although conservative adventure that stands apart from the typical purge the Gary Gygax anxiety closet subject matter. Should enjoy this one. If you're a parent with a child studying Greek mythology in school, this would make an ideal present. This is one of those rare opportunities to reinforce school curriculum at home in a fun way.